What are you thirsty for? Not physically, but deep down in your soul. Jesus had been spending time in Judea, and then he makes a decision that surprises everyone. Instead of taking the longer, safer route, he goes to Samaria. That wasn't just geography, that was intentional. Jews avoided Samaria. There was tension, history, division. But Jesus walked straight into it. Why? Because there was someone there he wanted to meet. He comes to a well. It's noon. It's hot. It's quiet, though. And a woman shows up alone. That tells you something. She does not show up with the other women in the cool of the morning. She's avoiding people. She's carrying shame. And Jesus does something shocking. He speaks to her. A Jewish man speaking to a Samaritan woman. And he says, "Give me a drink." Now, on the surface, that seems simple, but it opens the door to something much deeper. Because Jesus shifts the conversation from physical thirst to spiritual thirst. He says, "If you knew who I was, you would ask me for living water." Well, she doesn't fully understand. She's thinking practically. You don't even have a bucket. But Jesus is talking about something deeper. He's saying, you're thirsty in a way that nothing in this world can satisfy. And then he gently exposes her life. You've had 5 husbands, and the man you're with now is not your husband. Don't miss this. He's not shaming her. He's revealing something. She's been searching, looking, trying to fill something inside of her. Relationship after relationship, she thinks and hopes that this one will be enough. But it never is. And if we're honest, that's not just her story. That's ours. We all have wells we go to, things we believe that are somehow going to satisfy our lives. Maybe it's success or approval, comfort, maybe some kind of relationship. Maybe it's control. Maybe it's just distracting ourselves. And for a moment, they seem to work, but then we get thirsty again. Jesus says, whoever drinks of this water will be thirsty again. That's the cycle of the world. Temporary satisfaction followed by deeper thirst. And here's what's important. Even as believers, we can drift back to old wells. Not because we've rejected Jesus, but because we've forgotten that he is still our source. When we start looking at other things to do what only he can do. And when we do, we feel it. Dryness, restlessness, disconnection. Not because he's moved, but because we did. And then Jesus makes this promise. Whoever drinks of the water I give will never thirst. He's not saying you'll never have desires. He's saying, I'll satisfy the deepest part of you, not just externally, but internally. This woman thought her problem was external. Circumstances, people, places. But Jesus takes her deeper. From external to internal. From ritual to relationship. From a place to person. She even tries to shift the conversation. Where should we worship? This mountain or Jerusalem, she asks. And Jesus says, it's not about the place anymore. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. In other words, it's not about location, it's about connection. God is not confined to a temple, not limited by geography, not accessed through some, ritual alone. He is present, personal, available. Then comes the moment. She says, I know the Messiah is coming. And Jesus says, I who speak to you am he. Think about that. The first time Jesus clearly reveals himself as Messiah in John's gospel, it's not to some religious person. It's not to someone with status. It's to a broken, searching woman at a well. Why? Because she knew she was thirsty. And that's the key. You don't come to Jesus because you have it all together. Nope. You come because you know I'm not satisfied. So let me ask you again. What are you thirsty for? Where are you going to find life? What are you returning to again and again, hoping it will finally satisfy? And for those of you who already know him, this isn't just about meeting Jesus for the first time. It's about returning to him, coming back to the well that actually satisfies. Because the Christian life is not just about receiving living water once, it's about learning to live from it. So today, instead of going back to the same wells, pause, be honest, acknowledge your thirst, and then turn to him. Not just for what he gives, but for who he is. Because when you find him, you don't just get relief, you get life. From Timeless Netiv, the Netiv Olam, the eternal pathway. Have a great day and be God blessed because you're drawing from the never-ending well of his joy.